Hey there. We're back once again, live at lunch. Live at lunch, and we're doing it once again, showing up and addressing this journey through the valley. Glad you're here. Glad you could be with us. God bless. Talking to people about this journey through the valley. How are we learning from the low points in our life? How are we learning from the low points in our life? And if we're not learning from the low points in our life, then when we get on high, right, when we get to those peaks in our lives, we can't look back and say, look how far I made it. Look how far I've gone. Look how much I've accomplished with the help of God, with the assistance of God, not only the presence of God, but the providence of God, the protection of God, the preservation of God. God helped me, and here I am. That's what we're doing. We're learning from the low points of our lives. And so we want to do that and do that in a way to where we can look back and say, if it had not been for the Lord by our side, if it had not been for the Lord by our side, where would we be? Right? So we're taking this journey, and in this journey, we're here, Psalm 23, and we're at verse 4 of Psalm 23, verse 4. And this one is actually one of the longer verses of this psalm that many of us are familiar with. It's one of the longer verses of this psalm that many of us are familiar with. And let's attack it. Let's look at it, attack it, and make it happen. It says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. And that's verse 4 from Psalm 23, very familiar for many of us. When we look at this, this is talking to us about not just being in the valley, not just being in the valley, but it talks about you are with me, for you are with me. God's presence, you are with me. God's presence is there, for you are with me. And I can't just help but repeat that, but make more emphasis on it. For you are with me. Why? Because when we're in the valley and we can feel the pressure of what's going on and surrounding us in the valley and the unknown and the parts that we meet that are unexpected, we at least can count on not so much the conditions, but we can count on what's unconditional, and that's the presence of God. The presence of God is unconditional. No matter what we say, no matter what we think, there's one thing that's going to be profound and outstanding about what we know about where we find ourselves, and however, in whatever condition we find ourselves in, we're going to find out and come to understand that God is present everywhere. God is present everywhere, and that's omnipresence. God is present everywhere, and that's omnipresent. And when we deal with God being present everywhere, we deal with God being that type of support, right? We need that type of support system that's not going to bow out on us when things get heavy and hard. We need the type of support system that's going to be there when things get rough and things seem to get out of control, that they're consistent and that they're there and they're faithful. God is faithful and just. He will bring us through, but we've got to remember that God is present with us. And so you, right? I can fear no evil because you are with me. I can fear no evil and continue walking through this valley of the shadow of death because you are with me. And so since God is with us in this valley, God is with us in this valley, we are going to go ahead and continue through this valley with no fear of evil, because God's presence is there and we're able to stand and withstand whatever we face in the valley. If we were in church, I'd say, can I get an amen? But I know what I'm talking about. God is present, and so his omnipresence, God being everywhere, gives us comfort and assurance that God is with us. God is with us in this valley, and we're not by ourselves. Praise God. And so knowing this, as we're journeying through this low point in our life, through this valley, we can take it on and accept some of the things that come our way because we know we're not alone, right? We know we are not sitting here and we're simply being beat down and not being brought back up. We know that if things got bad enough, divine intervention is right beside us. Divine intervention is surrounding us and encamped around us because God is present with us. He's not asleep on the job. He's not taking a break. God is with us. He's not saying, once you get through that over there, come on back with me and check in. We'll get back together. No, God is with us in the valley. And when we say God is with us in the valley, God is present with me. God isn't, he's not just everywhere, but he's present with me. He's sitting there with me. He's walking there with me. When I get stuck, he's there reminding me that he is present. And so when I know and I'm assured that God is present, I can walk with confidence. I can walk boldly through the valley. I can walk boldly through the valley and fear no evil. That's what we need to understand, that the evil may exist there, but God's presence is there as well. The evil may hang out there, but God is right there holding us up. The evil may be around us, but God is there with us, holding us up, giving us strength, teaching us, and holding us in comfort like a shepherd carries a sheep that's returning to the flock, right? God is present with me. I need somebody to know that God is present with me when I'm in the valley, when I'm at the low point. God is still present with me because God is everywhere. And the beauty of it is, if you flip over into the New Testament, Brother John will tell you in his first epistle that God is love. And so God is present and his love is there pushing me through the storm, pushing me through the rain, pushing me through all the mess that I may catch up with in the valley and they may catch up with me. But God is with me and he's continuing to implore me and guide me and beseech me and move me forward through this valley. I need it because God's presence is giving me security. God's presence is giving me the provision that I need. God's presence is giving me the protection that I need. And all of that is happening within this time that I'm still at a low point in my life. And so God's presence is there. Remember, go back to what we said. Remember, God's there with me. God's there with me. And so I will fear no evil. God's there with me, so I'll fear no evil. And in fearing no evil, I'm able to conquer what comes at me. And if I'm not conquering it, I'm protected by God. Storm and rain may come, but I'm protected by God. The wiles of nature may be out there, and evil may be present, but I'm protected by God because God is present with me right there. If you don't take it from the psalmist in this part of it, look at it from the perspective of what's written in Psalm 46. Look at what's written in Psalm 46. Psalm 46, in its opening verse, tells us that God is our refuge and our strength. He's a very present help in trouble. Well, wait a minute. God's our refuge and our strength, and then he's a very present help in trouble, as it says in the New Living Translation. In times of trouble, in times like these, What we need is a very present God, and that's what we got. God is present with us, and it's reassured and reconfirmed, right? When we read it in Psalm 46, reflecting back to verse 4 here, that what we need at this low point is God to be with us, and there he is right there. There he is right there. God is meeting us at our point of need. God is meeting us at our point of need, and he's touching us and giving us all that we need to move forward. He's giving us all that we need to move forward, continuing to project and provide us with his presence and remind us that, hey, I'm here with you. What did Jesus tell him the other day? Lo, I am with you to the end. Come on, to the end. Lo, I'm with you. And here it is. I'm at a low point. I'm living through it. I'm living with it. And God is present, and he's feeding me, and he's fueling me, and I'm getting enough to push forward and get through the valley. Remember, the objective is to get through the valley. I'm not here to stay. I'm not here to hang out. I'm here to get through the valley. I've got to pass this way in order to get to where God has me to go. There should be still waters on the other side. There should be greener pastures on the other side. But I'm going through the valley, and I'm going away from whatever evil exists here because I'm not fearing it. I'm walking boldly past it and taking it on and moving forward and staying strong because God's got me going through the valley. And he's with me. God is meeting me at my point of need, and he's with me. And not only is it like that, but I needed to know that because that gives me confidence. I needed to know that because it gives me confidence in order to continue. Right? I need confidence in order to continue. That's important. And so when we say this, we're talking about God being right there with you. God being right there with you, being a very present help. And that confidence comes from his presence. I'm confident and comfort in his presence. And so that way I'm able to continue. When I'm confident and I'm comforted and I'm able to continue because I'm much aware of his presence. His presence, God is with me. Man, I'm glad that's assurance for us. I'm glad that's there and available for us. I'm glad that God sits there and says, you know what, you're not alone. You know what, you don't have to go through this alone. You don't have to take this on and be there alone. God is present in this time of trouble at this low point, and it gives us comfort and assurance, but it also gives us confidence to continue. We want to continue step by step, getting through the valley. It may not happen in an instant. It may not happen overnight, but we're going to get through this valley. We're going to get away from this low point. We're going to get away from where this place is, where it seems to be like we're in a stranglehold and we can't maneuver. But God is giving us confidence by comforting us and giving us what we need while we're in the valley. Think about that. If God is our refuge and our strength and a very present help, in times of trouble, what more do we need to know? What more do we need to know and understand but that God is there with us, and God is bearing part of our burden, and he's walking along with us, and he's ensuring that, hey, you can make it, and you can continue on. Not only can you continue on, right? Not only can you continue on, but you can make it knowing that you're going to take it to the other side. You can make it knowing that you're going to take it to the other side. You can make it and understand that not only is God present with you, but God is providing for you. God is protecting you. God is preserving you. And when he does this, you can hang on. Not hang out, but hang on. We're not about hanging out. in the valley. We're about hanging on to get through and continue through the valley with confidence and comfort that comes from the Creator. God is a very present help in times of trouble. And in order to continue, I needed that. I needed to know that He was present. I needed to know that God was there. I needed to know that God was giving me more than just lip service. God, you are with me. I can walk through the valley of the shadow of death because you are with me. I can continue through the valley of the shadow of death because you are with me. I can keep going because I'm going through the valley of the shadow of death with God. I'm going through the valley of the shadow of death with God. His rod and His staff, they comfort me. I'm being comforted by God on my way through here. I'm being comforted by God at one of the lowest points in my life. So when I get to that high point, when I get to that mountaintop, right, I can look back and say, man, that valley back there, I thought that was too much for me to take. But like the song said, I'm coming up on the rough side of the mountain. I'm coming up and I'm coming up and I'm moving higher and higher with the push from God, with the urging of God, with the unction of God. And I'm being pushed forward and can carry through. And even when I don't feel like I can take another step, God is present with me, helping me out. Think about it. Like I asked at the beginning, how are we learning from the low points of our lives? What are we learning? And we're learning about the presence of God. We're learning about the providence of God, that God is not just handling things when we're on high. God is not just handling things when everything seems to be in order. God is handling things and managing things even in the midst of chaos. God brings order to what we have going on around us. He shuts out the things that seem to be totally out of order and gives us protection to get through. And we need to know that we're being preserved by God, not just protected by God, but being preserved by God to continue to be up and moving forward and moving out. And as we move out and we get to that mountaintop, God is going to put us on display. God is going to present us, right? And say, hey, look, y'all, this is what part of my handiwork is. This is part of my miraculous work. That person that you thought was down and out, that person that you thought was not going to make it, not going to be able to pull through, God did it. God helped them. God brought them out. God lifted them up. God pulled them out of the pit. God put them on solid ground. God brought them into safety. God did it. I didn't do it because the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He leads me, guides me, strengthens me, comforts me, puts me at a table in the presence of my enemy. That's all in this psalm. God does it. And He does it in a way to where we can be comforted. And not only that we can be comforted, but that we can be comforted and still continue. And still continue on our journey and move forward and be out. Listen, this is God at work. This is God doing His thing. And I bless you. I bless you, but I also beseech you, look at God. Where is God present in your time of trouble? Do you have to lift up pillows and look for Him? Or can you just cry out and call out and God reminds you, hey, I've been here. I've been here. Let's move. Let's get out of here. Let's be done. God bless you. God be with you. Love you. Amen.